Now we're on to the Podio portion of this tutorial. We'll be setting up the fields that we need for the Podio to Zapier to ConvertKit process. It's only going to be 4 fields for this tutorial. In the future tutorials, when I build onto this process, there'll be some more fields that we add. But in this case, it's only 4. So I'm using my my template, SI Lead Manager template, and under properties, in the properties app, we're going to add the fields that we need. So we'll go into, I like to just go into add property and go to the templates that way. Add template. I like to have at least one property in here. We'll just put the bare minimum and then an email address. All right, we'll save this. You probably already have some records in there, so just use one of those. All right, so now we'll modify the template, and I'm going to add, in my case, I'm going to add it underneath the communications area. We're first going to put a header, and that'll be a calculation field. This is just the section break that I like to use in between so I can see where related items are, at least where they start. So for one of these, you have to reference in a calculation field at least one existing field, and you can pick any one you want. We're not going to use this field, we're just referencing it. So I'm referencing the status field. And now we're going to start creating the header. You can put whatever you like here. This is my standard header I like to use. I cut and pasted from the tutorial that you're reading right now. And this part right here is an image that I'm pulling. I created and pulled from my server. You can use this image if you like. If not, you can create your own. Or there's a couple other places like dummyimages.com where you can just call it with a web page URL and customize the text that comes back. It's pretty cool and very easy. And then this is just the back top. You'll see this more so when we go back to the app when it's calculated. Right now it just looks like a jumbled mess. And for the heading, the label, I just like to put a period because I don't want anything showing there, and you have to have something, so period is the minimal and it takes up the least amount of space. And then so that's field number 1. Field number 2 is the category field where we're going to select the sequence. In this tutorial, we're only going to have one sequence we're using, but in the future tutorials, we're going to have multiple sequences we can select to start the lead off with. We'll call this email sequence. Say choose email sequence, and in this case, we're going to have Podio new lead. But this one, we'll make sure we have it select for only single choice. That's field number 2. Not hard, right? Now field number 3 is going to be just an empty text field that will be used to store the ConvertKit subscriber ID. So we can say ConvertKit ID or subscriber ID. And we're going to make sure this is a single line field. That's field number 3. And here comes field number 4, which is a calculation field, which will be used to create the backlink to the subscriber dashboard in ConvertKit. so you can quickly click back and go view what emails have been sent. Okay, for the last field, we have to actually save now and then come back in because we need to reference this ConvertKit ID field, and you can't do that unless the template's saved. So we have to hit done. Might take a minute or two. It pops out, and I'll scroll up here quickly just to kind of show you what we're looking at here. So this is the area right here. And now we'll go back into the template, and we will add the new calculation field. Let's scroll down here a little bit. Pull the calculation field underneath the ConvertKit ID. Call it subscriber link. Spell that right. And then we'll add in the code. I'm going to cut and paste it from the tutorial. And the one thing we have to always do when we cut and paste is re-enter the field tokens. And there's the ConvertKit ID field we were looking for. So now this should create. Scroll back up. This will be the link that we use. And if we had a subscriber, once the subscriber ID gets placed here by the Zapier process, and after the subscriber gets created in ConvertKit, the ID will come back here, and this link will then lead to ConvertKit and the subscriber dashboard for that subscriber. What you also need in the Podio form is 3 bits of information to go back over to ConvertKit to create the subscriber. You need the email address of the lead, and I usually have those in the contact app that I have. I click over here. This is where I have the email address. If you have the contact information within your properties app, you can use that. If you don't, you can add one. And typically we'll need the name, the first name, last name, and email address. It's a good idea to split up the full name into first and last name, so you can then refer to the person by their first name within ConvertKit instead of their whole name if you want that. So, and then the other bit of information is the address, which you should already have a field with. If not, you can add it's just a simple text field for the address or a location field here. Now I'll go to my template and I'll show you those. So this is the location field. You just drag this location up into here, and then it's all set. And then the contacts. If you have an app, you can just drag a relationship field in here. Click here, choose an app, and then choose your contacts app. By typing in the search in contacts, you can click on it and it'll add. And then save. And then for first and last name, again, mine's in my contacts app. You can just add 2 text fields, make sure they're single lined. So I'll add them in here just for helpfulness. So we'll say first name, make sure it's single line, because when it's multi-lined, the name comes with HTML tags and everything within the text, which then you have to try to remove those, and it's a pain. Single line does not have that. You have first name, last name, single line, and then for this example we'll just put in, you can create an email field right here, and then you're all set. Click done and you're good. Come back to here, you'll see all this information is right here. Okay, so that's pretty much all we need to do in Podio. Thank you, In the next video, we'll be heading over to Zapier to set up the final piece of this process. Thank you.